Hey girl, happy Tuesday and happy the first day of October. How are we here? I do not even know. But I have the best story that I want to share with you today. I hope that this symbolism from my day today gives you some inspiration, some hope as you navigate freedom forward. This podcast today is a little bit different from what I typically do on the show, but I cannot wait to share this story with you because it really impacted my day. I hope it does just that for your day. So let's dive in. Hey girl, welcome to the Her Best Self podcast. I'm Lindsay Nickel, former competitive figure skater and perfectionist, turned God-led imperfect boy mom and digital CEO. If you find yourself constantly thinking about food and wondering if you'll wake up one day free from the obsessive thoughts and behaviors controlling your life, then I've created this podcast for you because I know exactly what it's like to be a downright hot mess trapped in a destructive cycle of disordered eating. I finally found freedom and you can too, girlfriend. So if you're ready to heal your relationship with food and body and break the chains of control and show up in your best health, then grab your favorite Tarjay journal and let's get to it so you can start living your best life as your best self. Hey there, sister. I wanted to talk directly to you today, friend. Yes, you. If you are tired of trusting the process, I know that we hear that all the time. We hear just trust the process. Hey, I'm even guilty of saying, trust the process. This is a journey. It's just part of the process. But sometimes I get tripped up even on what does that mean? We're trusting the unknown and we haven't yet experienced that before. And that is really hard for our mind to comprehend, our subconscious mind. The truth is that our mind loves facts, and releasing control and trusting can be painfully hard, and it can feel extremely impossible at first. But to bridge this leap, instead of trusting the process, I want to encourage you today that you can trust God and you can look for evidence of your next right step. I took the day off. I actually had one client today, but I took the day off to spend actually quality time with my husband. We went out to lunch. It was a super fun time together. I feel like that is so important in our marriage to spend quality time together, and we haven't done that lately. And so I took the day off to have a lunch date with my husband and to spend some relaxation time, just nourishing myself, doing things that are going to build me up, which typically is like getting in my Bible or getting in my scripture time, getting in my mindset work, working on things in the business that are going to continue to pour into all of you, honoring myself, enjoying that time. And so this morning I took a wonderful walk. I love getting in nature. When I get in nature, I feel like it's my creative zone of genius that just comes out. And as I was thinking about prepping for the show, I was trying to figure out what the topic was going to be today. And I just needed something to like hit me in the head, upside the head for this topic. And God has a sense of humor, let me tell you. I was thinking about trusting. And trusting is so hard when we are used to trusting in ourselves. And when we don't feel like we're capable or able, it feels like an impossible task. And so if I'm being transparent with you, I have a lot of changes that are happening, not only in the business, but in my personal life. I feel like these kids are just growing like weeds and all the school things this time of year. I love fall because in Virginia, we just have so much foliage. It becomes an extraordinary place to live because all of the changing in the scenery. And anyway, as I was walking today, I was thinking about faithfully trusting in God, but having these moments of, am I sure that the direction that I'm heading next, whether it be in my business or in my marriage or just even in relationships, and pressing into each of my one-on-one clients, entering into this season of helping more and more women. And it felt hard. I felt like I couldn't trust the process because I haven't been here before. And maybe today that's where you're finding yourself. Like, I want to trust the process to freedom. I want to believe that's possible, but I just haven't been there before, or maybe I've experienced recovery freedom before, but then I came back to this place where I don't remember those steps. I don't know how I got there, and I don't know what happened to get me trapped back in this cycle. It's hard to trust the process. And I want you to understand that you can, instead of trusting the process, you can trust that you're right where you need to be, and you can start looking for evidence that you're right where you need to be. And so that's what I did today. I went out on my walk. I was like, I just need a sign. I need some evidence that I'm right where I need to be, because I have all of these fruitful, like, these are blessings. But it feels like I'm evolving. And again, that was my word of the year. So I just love that we're heading into the last quarter of the year. And it is so timely for me in my personal life, because I am shedding parts of myself that can't go with me into the next year. And I want you to start thinking of your life like this too. When you start waking up from this disordered place, you will shed parts of yourself that cannot come with you, friend. They just can't. They can't come to the next level. You have to be vigilant, and you have to be obedient in where you're being led, but also just taking steps to spend time with your mind and yourself to understand what that even means. Because when life is busy, and this is what happened to me recently, I was so overloaded that it was borderline burnout of, I don't even have time to think about where I am and if where I am is in alignment with my future self and the goals, not only of the business, but just in alignment with how I want to show up as a mom, an alignment of how I want to show up as a friend. And so taking a time out and spending a day with yourself is super important, but I won't sit there for too long because I want to share my personal story that happened today. I literally was walking on my path. And again, nature is it's a tranquil place of clarity for me. There was this acorn that, I don't know if you've ever been hit in the head by an acorn, or if you live around oak trees. If you don't, then obviously disregard the symbolism, but we're going to talk about acorns today. And I promise I'm going to get somewhere good with this. I was looking for an answer. I was faithfully trying to understand how to trust the process when the process doesn't feel like it even knows I'm trusting it, right? It's like, I want to believe that this is where I should be, but am I sure? And so I felt myself, again, trying to play God, trying to want to manipulate my goals and where I am. And I don't know if you've ever been hit upside the head by an acorn, but there was this moment today on my walk where, oh my gosh, this acorn is there. I'm literally all in my head about where I am in my life and all of the different facets of my life. And it was as though this symbolism rained down from the sky. It actually came from the big oak tree. But I got home from my walk and I wanted to dissect this evidence a little bit more clearly. Like, I wanted to know more about the acorn because I was searching for an answer, and this acorn just spun into my path. And so that's what I mean when I say look for evidence of your next right step. There was this intuition inside me that was like, this acorn is supposed to represent something right now for you. And you need to just take one more step and learn a little bit more and just understand that you can have peace in your heart and not trust the process, but you can trust God or your higher power if you don't believe in God, and you can continue to lean in to look for evidence of the next right step. I looked up acorns, and what do you know? I always find how these things work in our life. It's incredible. It's incredible how much meaning and impact this legit had on my day. And I talked to my husband about it during our date day, but acorns have so many symbolic meanings. They represent growth. They represent potential. As the small little acorn can grow into a mighty oak tree. And this symbolizes strength. This symbolizes perseverance. And it's a reminder that even in the difficult times, those lead to great experiences and great things. That the small, unassuming seed that holds a magnitude of potential and growth and prosperity represents achievement and patience. And I started diving in even more because I was like, oh my gosh, like, I am the acorn right now. Maybe you're the acorn right now. Maybe just like the acorn, you contain every single thing that you have in you that you need to become a mighty life force, but you're not fully believing that possibility. So I dug deeper, and what do you know? This is so crazy. I want to share this with you. Acorns first appear on adult trees starting at the age of 20 to 50 years old. So a mature oak tree, it has to be relatively 20 to 50 years old. And it can produce more than 2,000 acorns in 1 year on the tree. That's like an average, right? But only 1 in 10,000 acorns will grow to become an oak, which technically means one tree that takes 20 to 50 years to develop can drop acorns for 5 years straight, and you're only going to get one oak tree out of that. I just thought about that, like the craziness and the statistics behind it. And it got me thinking, just the perseverance that it takes, the strength that it takes, the consistency that it takes to keep growing and to keep shedding and to keep showing up and to keep producing. I want you to know that you have exactly what it takes, with exactly all that you have, to experience a life free of disordered eating and to experience a life where you can continue to be vigilant and you can continue to be faithful to a future self, even when you don't have all the answers. It's in times like this where you are molded and shaped and planted that will lead to great things down the road. And I know we hear that in all of the cliche Pinterest ways, but there was something in my spirit today that said, this acorn taught me to embrace self-discipline and self-control. Instead of leaving it all up to trusting the process that everybody talks about, you can lean in and trust that you don't need to just trust the process. You can look for evidence along your path. And sometimes that evidence, it might hit you in the head. And sometimes the next action is going to be right around your path, like reaching out for support, calling and sharing your struggle with a friend, or realizing in your heart that you no longer want to live like this anymore. And just like that, sis, seasons change. And so can you. And I was so reminded of this. Like, when changes happen, we always tend to believe that it's like a bad thing because we're forced into this change. But it is a growth opportunity. It is a constant motion of change in our lives. And it is so needed. And it is, yes, part of the process. But just because it's part of the process doesn't mean it's easy, and it doesn't mean we have to trust it. We just have to walk, and we have to look for evidence of why this is the next right step. And so just like the seasons change, you can trust that your steps are being directed, and you can be on the lookout for the acorns in your life. You can be on the lookout for the fresh starts and the small actions over time that are going to create that significant life force. And with soil, with water, with sunlight, with a nurturing environment, you can grow to break through heights. Just like the oak tree. If you're feeling dormant, that's not permanent. Acorns can remain dormant for years. I learned this today. And when they're under conditions that they feel are just right, they morph into this magical, mighty thing, this magical, mighty tree. And just like you, maybe your conditions have been off. Maybe you've worked with somebody in the past and it hasn't worked. Maybe you were in a different time or a different season or a different place, or you had other things going on in your life and you couldn't prioritize yourself and your recovery. Or maybe you were just in denial. Your recovery, it may seem distant. Your freedom, it may merely feel impossible, but your potential is already there. My hope today is that you take this story and the symbolism into your week and you allow it to work in your heart with exactly knowing that the place that you are at right now is where you need to be. I want you to plant your acorn in the right conditions and watch it grow into something beautiful and something strong. Maybe today, sis, your sign is that you're right on the right path. You're here listening to the right podcast and you're going at the right pace. And maybe the acorn isn't something that you're going to pick up along your healing journey or along your trail or along your walk. But what I wanted to share with this story is that you lean in and you release expectations from what it has to look like. The perfection mentality of how it has to happen on your timeline and what that means. along the way, because when you relinquish control of what the journey is supposed to look like, when you begin to enjoy just one step and then another step and then the next step and then achieving the next step, that's when you can see the evidence that you're right where you need to be. An acorn is just a tree's way of saying that with time and patience, nearly anything is possible. If you are feeling heavy, if you are feeling like you're tired of trusting the process, if you're feeling like the unknown just is too hard for you to bear, it's okay. You don't need to have all the answers. It's okay. You don't need to know which season you're even heading into. You just have to embrace the fact that maybe this season is a season of strength and growth and persistence. Maybe this season is a season of giving up control, giving up rigid routines, giving up the desire to control your body, giving up the desire to control every single piece of food that goes into your mouth and your exercise. Maybe this season is to hit you upside the head with an acorn. I hope today that this message has just given you a different perspective to think about this in life and to think about the process of becoming the best version of you, because your best version is going to be different than mine. And my best version is going to be different than hers. And it's all in lifting each other up, and it's in trusting that you don't have to know the full process. Because here's the thing, when I was on my walk, I was like, if I just had the strategy, if I just had, the technique to scale this thing, because again, I'm in this season of like helping more and more women. And I'm going to talk about that and share about that more. I'm going to be having an upcoming masterclass towards the end of the month that is going to help educate you and pull you in. And so you're going to want to lean into that. If you're not on my email list, you can do so at herbestself.co and you can subscribe so you can get more information and details there. But as I think about the impact of serving hundreds and thousands of you, my heart just booms with all these creative ideas. And then sometimes I find myself super overwhelmed, like little old me that recovered from this, me that dealt with this for so long and thought I was going to die from it. Like, how is it me that can do this? I was reminded today, it is the acorn that becomes the oak tree. Sis, you are able to do the mighty things, and it may take some time, and it may take persistence, and it may take belief, and it may take not even trusting the process, but trusting that you are where you need to be along the way. And it may take getting you in the right and the proper conditions so that your seed can be planted and that you can grow. But what I want you to know is that it's not time to give up. It's not time to let your guard down. It's time to finish 2024 strong. And I believe in you, and I hope this message has served you. I would love for you to let me know if you enjoyed today's show. I know this one is different, but I wanted to share a personal story of my day because it was super impactful into the next chapter that I'm headed, and I'm so excited about it. I want you to get that excitement under your belt as well so that you can get that momentum to continue pressing forward. If you are looking for one-on-one personalized support, I am borderline waitlisting. I would encourage you to go out to herbestself.co and fill out a client application if you would like private support. I'm going to be sharing more about the offer that we can work together in addition to my one-on-one services. I cannot wait to share that with you upcoming. And friend, come on out to our private Facebook community. You can find us at herbestselfsociety.com. I cannot wait to squeeze on you as you continue pressing forward in your journey to freedom. All right, sis, I'll see you real soon. Bye for now. Oh, friend, thank you so much for letting me share what was on my heart today. My hope for this podcast is to help more women find freedom from food and body. If this has empowered or blessed you, let me know. I'd be honored for your rating and review of my show, and I'd love to connect with you in my private Facebook community. You really can move from perfection to purpose. Let's break the chains together. I'll help navigate the way. Until next time, bye for now, girl.